Hi, I am Stephanie Noble, and I'm here to teach you guys how to master meal planning. Super excited about this one because this is a skill
That
that
I
I
have
have
realized I
realized I
needed.
needed.
I'm a
I'm a
stay-at-home
stay-at-home
mom of
mom,
three
three
kiddos.
kiddos,
And as
and
the
as the
kids
kids
get
get
older
older
and get
and get
more
more
active,
active,
meal
meal
planning
planning
becomes
becomes
more
more
important
important
in our
in our
life.
life when it comes to planning our meals and helping us to save money at the grocery store. So I'm here to teach you guys how to meal plan. I am not perfect at it, but I'm here to teach you and we can learn together. So before when we get started, I want to talk about why we struggle with meal planning. I'm a planner when it comes to vacations and cruises and my schedule, but when it comes to meals, then I call myself a natural chef. I like, play around and experiment with what I have. But when I have three kids doing five different activities, that's not always an option. So meal planning comes into play. And oftentimes, a lot of people fail at meal planning because there's no system. You have to have a system, and it takes a little extra time to get that system set up. But once you have that meal planning system set up, guess what? It's going to save so much time, and you're not going to know what to do with all that extra time, right?
I
I
have
have
my
my
own
own
school
school
community
community
called
called
Family
Family
Meals in
Meals in
Minutes,
Minutes,
and
and
we're
we're
all
all
about
about
meal
meal
planning,
planning,
picky
picky eating,
eating, and
and
I
I
do
do
a
a
live
live
cooking
cooking
demo
demo
every
every
week.
week.
So I want
So
to
I want
talk
to
to you
talk to
guys
you guys
about your
about your
time
time
management.
management. When it comes to meal planning, it's really crucial. You want your time to work for you. You don't want to work for your time. Okay. Let me explain that a little bit better. When you have a job, you plan everything around your job. Or if you have kids, everything you try to do, you plan around your kids, right? You want to maximize those time. Well, the same thing happens when you're meal planning. So you want to start with your calendar. You're going to start with the most basic organizational tool that you have at your hands, and that is your calendar. Now, whether you're electronic or paper, let me know. I use both because I do have three kids and two businesses and a thousand other things going on. So, what you want to do is, I like to sit down Sunday night or at the latest Monday morning, look at my week. What do I have going on? What appointments do I have this week? I have three kids. My middle son has ADHD and has occupational therapy and a chiropractor appointment every Wednesday. So every Wednesday, even though it's
Every
every
week, I
week, I
still
still
put it
put
in
it in
my
my
calendar
calendar
because
because
it's
it's
important for
important for
me
me
to
to
plan
plan
around
around
lunchtime
lunchtime
because
because
he
he
goes to
goes to
school in
school
the
in the
afternoon.
afternoon.
So
So
I
I
need to
need to
make
make
sure
sure
he
he
has
has
lunch
lunch
before
before
he
he
goes.
goes to school, right? So meal planning is really crucial, especially in that moment. So you want to look at your calendar, look at the days of the week, and see what days are. But Monday nights, I do my cooking demo in my school community, and two, we have activities in the evening, or we. My daughter has dance after. So gonna, if I would make dinner, we're gonna either super early while my husband still has to work, or days we're gonna eat late. So my father-in-law actually makes dinner for us twice a week on Tuesday and Wednesday. So there's 2 days that I simply don't have to worry about cooking a meal, which is really awesome. Thursday's kind of another quiet activity, but it doesn't necessarily affect the whole family, right? So it just affects like one kid, and so one parent obviously can go. And so on Thursday, I also do a cooking demo on Facebook, and then Friday is kind of one of those things, our leftover night slash if I feel like cooking, great. If not, that's
Okay,
okay.
we
We
have a
have a
plan
plan
B
B
of
of
takeout.
takeout.
And
And
so
so
a lot
a
of
lot of
times
times
Friday
Friday
night is
night is
just
kind of
leftovers
leftovers
because we're
because we're
so
so
busy
busy
during the
during the
week
week
that
that
typically
typically eat leftovers. Eat them for lunch, like feeling my lunch, but sometimes we have more than we can handle. So you always want to make sure you have at least 1 or 2 days where you have that time just for leftovers because you want to keep your fridge kind of clean and organized. Because if you just keep adding food in there in your refrigerator, eventually you're going to run out of space and be like, where did all this food come from? So you want to make sure that you're adding those extra days for leftovers as well. So you don't want to be cooking every single night because that can be exhausting. 3 meals a week. So for breakfast, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we typically like something really simple, like an English muffin or bagels or cereal. Something that the kids could easily do themselves because again, we're tired, right? We have three kids. They got school, we gotta get moving in the mornings, right? Tuesdays and Thursdays, I will typically make a big breakfast, like bacon, eggs, and biscuits, or something along those lines. Something that's a little bit more involved, but can still be quick and simple. So it's important to also look at like your mornings. What do your mornings look like? Well, are people up early and
do
do
you
you
have
have
more
more
time
time
to
to
make
make
a
a full
full-on
on
breakfast?
breakfast?
Or
Or
do
do
you
you
have
have
people
people
like
like
my
my
daughter
daughter
who
who
will
will
sleep
sleep
in
in
until
until
the
the
very
very
last
last
moment
moment
and
and
he
he
literally
literally
shake
shake
her
her
out
out
of
of
her
her
bed
bed
right
right
before
before
she's
she's
about to
about
get
to
on
get
the
on the
bus.
bus?
And
And
she just
she
needs
just needs
something
something
really
really
quick and
quick and
easy to
easy to
eat,
eat,
right?
right?
To
To
take with
take
her.
with her.
So what
So
do
what
your
do your
mornings look
mornings look like? What does your typical day look like? lunchtime is very tricky for us. The baby goes to daycare 3 days a week. So there's 2 days a week where he's home for lunch. So I have to plan, I have to think about that in my planning. And then Wednesdays, sometimes I take my son out to eat for Mommy Sunday, depending how his appointments go. Because again, he has to go to not. I don't want to have to come home, rush to make something for lunch. Typically, it's just something really easy and simple, like pasta or mac and cheese, which isn't the healthiest meal. And we can talk more about that. But also looking at your day, like what does your typical day look like, and where do you want to make? Like maybe you want to make a more maybe you make like a homemade mac and cheese and just serve that for lunch throughout the week. Or maybe make sandwiches. What does that typical day look like? And then the weekend is kind of up in the air. We go to church on Sunday. Saturday afternoons, we typically do leftovers or something really quick and simple. Because we eat later on Saturdays, like that's normal for a busy family. Yeah, my father also makes breakfast on Saturday and Sunday, so I don't have to worry about breakfast on the weekend except for myself because Saturday morning is my time where I work. And then Sunday lunch is where we go to church. So by the time we're home from church, like 12 o'clock, unless I have something in the crock pot or something like that, by the time I make something, it's going to be 12:30, 1 o'clock by the time we sit down and eat. Sometimes on Sundays, we might stop somewhere or we might go out to eat to a nice restaurant or something like that. And then dinner is typically might be something like burgers, like something simple and quick, but it takes a little of prep work. Or sometimes it might just be leftovers, depending on how the week went and what we have available. But typically for leftovers, we do, if we can, we try Friday night and Saturday afternoon for lunch. Honestly, no one in my house really eats leftovers besides me, so it's my lunch. And if it's not my lunch, we'll just make, if we don't have leftovers, we'll make something really simple, like a frozen meal or get pizza or something like that. So meal planning really starts with your schedule. What days do you need meals? What days are you super busy and can you do leftovers? Maybe schedule one day where you do takeout. This is going to be your number one tool to planning your mealtime. Just like you plan your week, just like you plan your work day, just like you plan for birthday parties, vacations, your calendar is your number one tool that you're going to use to plan your meals. Another thing that's going to help you is using themes. In my community this month, we're doing an Irish cuisine. And so I'm using that for my family to help them to explore different flavors stuff. So I have a monthly theme where we're doing Irish, but you could do a daily theme. Like for example, Taco Tuesday. How many different types of tacos could you make? You could do chicken tacos, you could do fish tacos, you could do beef tacos. Think about the toppings you could use, the shells, right? Explore with different types of bread. Oh, can we make a taco out of a slice of bread? Have fun with it. Maybe you do like slow cooker. I know last year I did for my Pamper Chef business, I did 30 days of soup. And the husband was not happy about it because my freezer was filled with maybe you a soup day or a stew day. Maybe you do something like, I don't know, like barbecue, like a chicken. Like, okay, on Mondays we're gonna do chicken, Tuesdays we're gonna do beef, Wednesdays we're gonna do fish, Thursdays gonna be Thursday takeout, and then Fridays make homemade fried foods. You could also do a new recipe day. So kind of having that general idea, make it fun and exciting for your family. Involve your kids, involve your family in this as well. Ask them what they want to eat. Because if it's just you making those plans, I guarantee you that they're not going to like it, right? Or they're not going to want to participate. They're not going to be eating. Here, I always ask my kids, what do you guys want to eat this week? Obviously, I get the same response. I'm like, okay, so I think, what can I make with pasta this week that's healthy and beneficial? I could do chicken parm. I could do chicken alfredo sauce. We could do meatballs and spaghetti. So right there is just 4 simple meals that I can make with pasta that my kids can still enjoy. And they were a part of that process. Plan 4 to 5 dinners. You don't want to plan for the whole week because you're going to have emergencies pop up because I know we do. Just 3 weeks ago, I had emergency gallbladder surgery, right? So that kind of affects our meal planning a little bit. And so you want to make sure that you're planning for those emergency leftovers, takeout, make everything simple. Make it simple, especially breakfast, guys. A lot of people struggle with breakfast. I could give my kids chocolate chip yogurt every single day and they would be happy. Like, I'm not joking. It's healthy, somewhat, right? Minus the chocolate chips. But you could get yogurt, add fruit, add granola chips, have them add sprinkles, have them have fun with, make it simple and easy for them. But you also want to, especially when it comes to breakfast, I think breakfast is the easiest meal for kids to get involved in the kitchen because what can they do? They can simply grab a yogurt out of the fridge and open it up and do it themselves. My kids love playing with my toaster. They love putting the bread in the toaster, the English muffin or the bagel, whatever it is, the waffle. They love putting it in the toaster and watching it pop. It's simple, but it also teaches them that independence. And they're having a choice in that matter. And that's going to make a huge difference, especially in the mornings when we're rushing around. Like, what do you guys want? Okay, great. Go make your, as long as it's so healthy and it's not like a plain old donut or it's lots of sugar, okay. But you want to keep your meal simple and repetitive. Like, if they like the dish, great. Add it into your daily routine. I know lots of families, they have like a monthly list of different meals that they make that they keep in a rotation. If it's something that everyone loves, great. Keep it in the rotation. And what that does is that also helps you have less planning in the future, but it also creates a consistency. And children thrive on repetition and consistency. So you look at your calendar, you have your list of meals ready to go. You know what you're making, when you're making them, right? The next thing you want to do is build your grocery list. So whether you're looking at a new recipe or an old recipe, you want to I always say look at your pantry first. Because your pantry, you probably have stuff on the way back of that who knows what shelf, and you don't know what it is, right? So look in your pantry first. See what you already have. Write down, no, look at the recipes, look at your pantry, write down what you already have, or write down the things that you know you're missing. And then you want to go to the refrigerator. Save the refrigerator for last because that is the place where you're probably going to need most of your stuff. Your produce, your vegetables, your dairy product. You also might have leftovers in the refrigerator. So if you have pasta, say you have pasta in a recipe that you're going to make for the week, use that leftover pasta in that recipe, and then you can save time and money by using that. So build your groceries list by what you already have in your home, in your pantry, in your refrigerator, in your freezer too. Because I know there's lots of times where I'm like, oh, we're gonna do shepherd's pie or burgers for dinner. Okay, and my husband will go to the store and he'll like 3 packs of ground beef, and I'm like, we already have ground beef. We recently did that with corned beef because it was on sale, so like stocked up on corned beef. So we want to build your grocery list by what you already have. Most grocery stores have a system. They have a system in how they are organized by aisle, by products, whatever it is, right? Most grocery stores have like a produce section. Most grocery stores have a dairy section, right? That's the outer part of the store. The interior aisles will be your dry goods, your cleaning products, pet supplies, alcohol if your store has that. Right. So it's all those dry goods. And remember like your freezer section and then all of your meats and maybe even your dairy. It might be like on the very back exterior wall. Right. So if you think about your grocery store and you look at your list, what are the items that you need the most? Probably your dairy, probably your produce, and probably your proteins, your meats, right? So in essence, depending on your list and your recipes, you can totally skip that inner part of your grocery store. So you want to list your grocery list by section. Like, look, what do I need the most of? And what do I not really need to do? Because when you're looking through aisles, you're going to see something and be like, oh, that sounds right. And you're going to end up buying it and spending more money that you may not have, or money that you really don't want to spend. So when you create your grocery list by the grocery store, by the way it's structured, and you're creating your own system, and after a while, after doing this on a weekly basis, or say you go once a month, however frequently you visit the grocery store, over time, you're going to find out that you're going to save a ton of money by just ignoring those aisles that you don't need to be in, right? So you're going to look at your calendar. We're just going to recap. Look at your calendar. Plan 4 to 5 dinners or meals depending on your day. Leave room for leftovers and takeouts, emergencies. And then you're going to build your grocery store by what you already have in your home. And then by the way your grocery store is laid out. And a lot of times too, you can go online to your grocery store's website, like look up your specific location. You might actually be able to find a picture or a map of the grocery store. So if you were really into planning, you could go a step further and do that. For me, I typically like to hit the dairy or the produce sections first. and then I will do the meat section third. And then if there's nothing else on my list, then I'm done and I'm out. But say I need pasta or rice or something, I will just go to that aisle and be done. Like that will be the very last thing that I do. Because by that time, I'm tired and exhausted and like I just want to get out. As well, I love grocery shopping, and it to me, after an hour being in a grocery store, I am exhausted. Right. So we talked about looking at your calendar and scheduling your meals if you wanted to. Like if you have a lot of say you have a 9 to 5 job or 8 to 4 job, whatever, write that in your calendar and for the month, and you can literally plan your meals for the month, and then you only have to do it once a month, and it saves you so much time. Yeah, and that way, when you come home from work and you're like, I don't know what I'm making for dinner. Right, and then you're spending another hour, a half hour trying to figure that out when it's already written out for you. So it's about creating that system, sitting down, taking that extra 15-20 minutes to sit down, look at your week, look at your month. What are we going to eat this week? What do we want to eat? What do we need from the grocery store? Creating that plan so that when you get to the grocery store, you're in and out within 30 minutes to an hour. Okay? I have a little challenge for you guys. Next time you go to the grocery, I want you to time yourselves. And let me know. Put it in the comments how long it takes you to go grocery shopping once a week or however frequently you go. Honestly, there's going to be moments until you go to the grocery store and you just need the bare essentials like cheese, milk, yogurt, eggs, bread, right? But then there's going to be other times where you're going to need a lot more because obviously you're emptying out your house. And so obviously it's going to vary, but try and come like the average time that you actually spend grocery shopping to keep track of it because you will probably surprise yourself. Keep track of how much time you spend at the grocery store. And I guarantee you that meal planning is going to be a lot easier and save you a lot more time than what you're actually at the grocery store. So your action step today is to block 15 to 20 minutes. Okay. Or do it on a weekend. I like doing mine on Sunday because that's when I can sit down, plan out my week, figure out what I have going on. Block out that time every week, same time every week, right? We want that consistency because we're creating a system that works for us and for our families. Look at the week, pick out what themes. If you want themes, pick out the themes, pick out your 4 to 5 dinners, and write your list. And now you have a plan. It's not that hard. Okay. I want to see your meal plans. I want to see their creative. So make sure you guys share those in the comment as well. And you guys can also join my free school community called Family Meals a Minute. Inside, and I did put the link, you can find my meal planning worksheet. It's just a really simple worksheet you can print out, and it just has Monday through Sunday on it, and breakfast, lunch, dinner, and you can literally write down your meals, fill in your themes, and you're done with meal